So you go out on vacation and you fly to where you're going, but once you get there, you realize you're stuck at the airport, so you need to rent a car. This is similar to leasing a vehicle in one regard, that you kind of pay for what you use. However, there's some different kind of nuances to it, but do my best to explain what's going on here. We're going to try and calculate the cost per mile. So that's kind of similar to what we've been doing, but it is slightly different. So a couple of things to kind of keep in mind here. When you rent a vehicle, some places, it kind of depends on the agency. You might want to investigate this before you ever do it. Some agencies you pay per day. Some agencies you pay per day, and there's a mileage allotment. Like you keep it within 100 miles a day, you're good. You go over that, you have to pay a little extra. It just kind of depends. So ultimately, what we're going to try and do is figure out how much our particular car in each scenario costs us. And if it comes up, the cost per mile, it's the total cost of the vehicle divided by how many miles you drive it. Very similar to what we've been doing. So keep that in mind. This tablet turned off. Some vehicles, you might have to pay for insurance. That way, if there was any sort of damage done, you're not responsible for it. The insurance coverage will kind of take over on that. So again, something you might want to kind of look at. Okay, so my guy Joe Wozniak rented a car for 3 days for $39.95 per day, plus 20 cents per mile. He purchased the collision insurance for $10 a day. He drove 468 miles and paid $36.70 for gasoline. What did this car cost him to rent? Okay, so I'm going to take all these different little pieces and add them up. He paid $39.95 a day, but he did that for 3 days. He paid 20 cents a mile for 468 miles. He also paid $10 a day for insurance, 3 days for that. And then on top of that, he had $36.70 in gas. Okay, it's just little incremental pieces here. Make sure if it's a per day, you're multiplying it by how many days the car was rented for. Okay, just keep that in mind. Once you kind of get this set up, it should just be a straight type it in on your calculator and you're good. So $39.95 times 3, 20 cents times the 468 miles, $10 for 3 days for the insurance and gas. So this car cost him a total of $280.20. Okay, that's the total. That's the total cost for the car, but per mile, if we want to know what this is per mile, there were 2 questions there. Per mile, you're going to divide by the 468 miles. Yep, divided by 468. This thing cost him 60 cents per mile to drive. Okay. Okay. These don't get any trickier. Just pay attention to the number of days, if it's a per day thing. So Winona rented a car for $30 a day for 4 days. I'm gonna kind of set this up as I go. $30 a day for 4 days. She paid 22 cents per mile for 430 miles. That's supposed to be a dollar sign. And then she had $33.90 for gas. This doesn't say anything about the insurance waiver, so she's not paying for that. Hope she doesn't get in a wreck. So 30 times 4 plus 22 cents times 430. 430 plus the gas. You can tell these problems are dated when they're paying less than $60 for a tank of gas. $248.50. So the per mileage, hang on, my calculator's wonky. Okay, so the cost per mile, we're going to take that $248.50 and divide it by the 430 miles that she drove. So her per mile cost is 58, when I round, cents. All right, last one. You guys probably have it by now. If you want to try this one on your own, feel free to pause the video, work it out, and see if you match what I get. So Miguel rented a sedan for $41.95 a day for 3 days. He paid 20 cents a mile for, oh, hang on. This one's got a little catch to it. He paid 20 cents per mile for all miles over 150 per day. So he's given 150 miles a day allotment. If he goes over that, that's when he starts paying. So this one's a little bit different. So the first day he drove 186 miles, so he only paid for 36 of those miles. I subtracted it, 20 cents. The second day he's good with 78 miles. And the third day he 210, so that is 60 miles over, 20 cents a mile there. Gasoline cost him $32.68, and he paid $12.50 a day for the insurance. Okay. Go back and read through that again. $41.95 a day for 3 days and 20 cents over 150. So that first day was 186. He only drove 36 miles over. That's all he had to pay for. The second day he stayed within his 150. The third day he drove 210. So that is 60 miles over 150, 60 times 20 cents, and then added on the gas and the insurance for 3 days, again, per day. Whew. So all of this times 3 plus 36 times 0.20. Whoops. 36 times 0.20 plus 60 times 0.20 plus 32.68 plus 12.50 times 3. $215.23 for the whole 4 days. Find the total cost and the cost per mile. So that's answer number 1. And then divide by per mile. I got to add up all my miles. 186, 78, and 210. So I'm going to divide by 474. So 215.23 divided by 474. 45 cents a mile.